A stranger introduced himself as my real father, but I already have one.
I don't have any father. He left me at 9 years old.
The trigger warning is for mentions of abuse. He claims that he was married to my mom before my dad, and she left him for my dad. He says this happened while she was pregnant with me, and she put my dad on the birth certificate, and they, my parents and grandfather, used their power and money to make sure he couldn't stay in contact with me. He also claims when I was 5, he tried again, and my dad stopped him. He says he is just now contacting me, because with my granddad's tragic passing last year, it is safe now. And by the way, this comes from user AnonTW. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Shrek.
And I'm Keon.
And we're going to try to give our best advice, but nobody's perfect. If you think we should do something different or say something different, let us know in the comments. OP says, here's the issues with this man's story. He had no documentation, although he promised to show me and suggested he'd bring some to my apartment that he knows the location of. I am also 20, so why now? My dad is a non-violent man. I can't see him breaking anyone's fingers. So he never spanked me when I was a kid and was always the pushover parent. My grandpa traded stocks. He was hardly a mafia kingpin.
Wait, they're actually in the mafia?
Don't know. My parents were childhood sweethearts and are still crazy about each other, in addition to being decent people. He also kept commenting on my money, saying I looked like a banker, wearing jeans and a button-up, asking if my dad gave me my watch and how much my bike cost. He did tell me his name and his number and showed his license, and I'm considering running a background check, but my parents see my expenses. In his favor, I do look like him.
I think all humans look like.
I've never seen my parents' wedding pictures. He didn't seem insane. He knew a lot of information that would be hard to find about my family. He mentioned a coat I had as a kid. I'm an only child, and my mom said they never got so lucky as to have another. I don't know. I would usually ask my parents, but my mom just got diagnosed with breast cancer, and I don't want to worry her or my dad that some psycho is trying to swindle me or pester or harm me.
I'm sorry. Tell your parents that a man has told you he's your father.
This is a real kind of getting the parents involved
Real
type
talk.
of situation.
If my daughter, which I assume I have,
Yeah.
if my daughter...
In the next movie, you for sure have a daughter in the next movie.
What movie are you talking
Yes,
about?
okay. It's okay.
Oh, all right. If my daughter found out, or I don't know, had a strange man come up to her and say, I'm your dad, take me in, or whatever he wants, I'd expect her to come right to me and say, Dad, a strange man told me he's my dad. Aren't you my dad? And I'd say, of course I'm your dad. Thank you for telling me. And then I'd go see what's up. You know what this is? It's just like that moment when they gave me the potion to turn me into human Shrek.
Oh, to make you hot Shrek.
And then Prince Charming tried to steal my wife. It's just like that.
It basically is. Edit number 1. I called my real dad first, deciding that he was a better call than fake dad or the cops until I assessed the situation. I asked if he knew this guy. He responded by asking if I was at my apartment. When I said yes, he said he'd be there in half an hour. Crap. This isn't good. And there's another edit. He is my biological father. My dad and my mom showed up. He said it was more her story than his, and apparently, when they were married, he was harmful. And when she told him she filed for divorce, it did not end well. She decided promptly that he would never get near enough to hurt her child. Her childhood best friend offered to marry her. This is all pretty convoluted. My life and parents are a lot different than they were this morning, and there are some comments. What happened after your parents came? I opened the door, and I was surprised to see my mom. Although I should have known he wouldn't come alone, both because that's not how they do things, and because on Tuesdays at that time, he's usually home between business and racquetball. We greet. My mom hugs me. My dad just puts his hand on my cheek and says that I'm everything he could want in a son. I say, so who is that guy? My mom says I'll start at the beginning. I met him when I was 19. He was a moody violinist.
Oh, they
and
get you every time, those moody violinists. Do you know Fiona almost married a violinist?
No.
He got burned up by a dragon.
Ow.
He thought he could charm the dragon with a little violin.
I'm glad that you guys have looked past that and have come to, be friends.
Well, she's got a much higher body count than I do.
Oh.
I've only got one. She's had many other relationships, although short-lived, because they usually a fiery. However, I support women, and I know that she's allowed to have a history.
That's true.
And your mom has a history.
Don't let anyone tell you Shrek doesn't support women.
I support women. I support women's rights and women's wrongs, which don't exist because women are never wrong. That's what Fiona tells me.
That's a good Shrek.
That's the key to a happy marriage. Your wife is never wrong.
So,
She's just confused. But don't tell her that.
I met this moody violinist, and it seemed the right amount of rebellion to fall in love with him. I was hardly the type to date a drummer, and then it unfolded. By the end, me and my mom are crying. My dad is holding her arm, and I don't know why this bothered me, but I asked if they were in love. My dad said, "I've loved your mother since I was 5 years old, but we're both so stubborn. It may have taken us 40 years to realize it if we hadn't become a family to protect you."
That's lovely.
That is lovely. We were going to get a divorce when you were 2, but we were so happy neither of us brought it up. Then we all laughed a little, and I'm heading there for dinner in a few hours. It's a screwed up situation, but my family is still my family, and I'm a lucky guy. Did your dad really meet him? Yes. My dad said when I was little, my mom caught him watching us in the park and promptly ushered me into the car. He came to the apartment, and she went down to the lobby. He cornered her, and when his charm said, "I gave you such a fine son, he's got my looks, doesn't he? I think the least you owe me is a few hours," he got aggressive and had to be escorted out by security. He was waiting for my dad outside his office the next day. My dad is angry, but listens to him go on. "Give a man enough rope," he always says. Then he mentions money. He's been deprived of his son. If this continues, reparation only seems fair.
He's trying to buy your son. Or I suppose he's trying to sell his son.
The other way around. He's trying to say, "Give me some money because I haven't been able to be with my son." He's pulling reverse child support. Do they have reverse child support?
No. In my swamp,
Yeah.
I've never asked because I take care of my children. Like a real man / ogre. Also, I don't have money. Fiona pays for the kids. I do the dishes.
She's got the income. It's okay, Shrek. We don't think any less of you.
I don't think any less of me. She's the breadwinner.
My dad decided that you can't stalk his family and shake around his wife with loose threats. So he told him that he will never give him a dime or let him ruin his son. And how did your parents get married? Well, my parents claim they married as friends to give me a name other than his and a father to make it difficult should that guy ever attempt to use me as leverage. Then they fell in love. Originally, they planned to divorce after a respectable time frame, but they found marriage suited them. And how are your parents now? They've always been best friends. There's a picture on our mantle of them at 5 years old. Their nannies used to let them play together. They were never romantic, they both claimed. My mom says her father was so severe and unemotional that she never would have risked the person closest to her for mere dating. Then they got married to protect me, and they're madly in love. They have lunch together every day. I remember as a kid being embarrassed by how much they touched. That during a sleepover, we'd walk out and they'd just be reading with his head in her lap. They are very happy. Honestly, this story seems completely out of nature for him. He's really mild-mannered and never raised a hand to me. My mom is the more serious partner. Why are there no half-siblings? Well, my dad is infertile. They tried for years to have another baby and it never happened. And there's an update.
This is beautiful. Who is this man who tried to come in and ruin all of this? Because I won't tell him some strong words. I can be scary when I want to. Just because I'm married and I have 3 kids doesn't mean I can't be scary. I know how to frighten a man.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen it. I've seen you put the fear in their eyes.
I look at them and I say, "This is the part where you run." And they run away.
That's right.
I'd tell that to this man and he'd run away too.
I would also tell this man to run away because he's lying to you about your parents.
Probably wouldn't work for you. You look too normal.
I
don't
thank
think
you.
you're very frightening.
Thank you.
You're
That's a
welcome.
compliment for me.
Well, it was an insult, but You can take it as a compliment.
I'll take it as the update.
Goblet.
My question got an amazing amount of replies, and I appreciate it. So, not being a butt, I decided to give a final update before I go back to my usual account. After a lot of thought, I've decided that all issues aside, I simply have no interest in this man who has my jaw and some shared DNA. I'm a junior at NYU doing a dual major and overload this semester. Between that and lining up internships, I barely have time to sleep. I have a great family and couldn't ask for better. I was never the kid who wished his parents were anyone else except maybe Batman when I was 9. Shout out. I wish I had more time for them than once a week dinner and phone calls. I don't wish I had some extra father figure, and I've got enough friends. If he were a decent man, I might feel like I owe it to him, but considering the fact that his actions resulted in this, and if my mom had stayed, I would have been raised in a harmful home, likely mistreated myself. I don't feel bad about this, just relieved. I also, for those worried about any possible truth from fake real dad, asked my dad if I could see any of the paperwork on my bio dad to assuage curiosity, and he assuaged it. The divorce papers were in there, the restraining order, and even evidences of the... Yeah, he is a dirt pickle.
Dirt pickle. It's the only place to find a pickle. It's got you wipe off the dirt.
Your swamp must be very briny and acidic.
Oh, it's all vinegar.
You just throw some cukes into the swamp,
Oh, they float up themselves.
bury them in the dirt, and then you dig them up a little later.
I don't even have to dig them up. They'll float when they're ready.
That's right.
That's how they work.
Have you considered turning that into a business?
I've thought about it, but I don't know if I've got the I don't know if I'm cut out for entrepreneurship. It's a lot of work. But Fiona thinks I should get a hobby.
Yeah, I think the pickles could be a very wellspring for you.
She thinks I'm too focused on my father leaving me at 9 years old.
You could start providing some income, and then maybe you'd feel better about her rich parents,
I feel fine about her rich parents.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Shrek.
You're welcome.
So he was waiting, this man, at my usual coffee shop today, and I will now be finding a new one. Basically, he was pushy and a butthole. He never once admitted any kind of wrongdoing or anything. I ended the conversation by saying, "Thank you for contacting me, but I'm happy in life right now. If I ever change my mind, I'll contact you." He then got this weird look of outraged indignity and said that I was an ungrateful little beaster, and that if he were richer than my dad, I'd be on my knees. Then he said that without him, I wouldn't exist. Said I was his only son, and he wished he didn't have one. Heck, he wished he didn't have a daughter, as she was just as ungrateful. He said a lot more, but that's the gist of it. I have a dad, and it ain't this joker. I may look up the sister at some point in the future when I have the time and mindset to explore that, although she's probably just a kid. And there are some comments regarding OP's safety. Unfortunately, I think the best thing is for me to take up my dad's offer of a car and driver until all of this settles. I will also be moving into a rental property we own because it has tighter access, i.e. a doorman who has to admit you.
I wish I had a doorman.
You've
Keep
got-
people
you've got
at my
Donkey.
swamp. He's not a doorman. He lets everyone in.
You have Gingy.
He does, doesn't he?
A person walks up and says, "Oh, I'm here to see Shrek." He says, "Oh," I can't do a donkey impression, but he just lets him in. I said, "Donkey, what are you doing? You're letting in strangers into my house." And he says, "Oh, but a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet." What's that mean?
That's nice. We were strangers until we met.
Yeah, we're not friends.
Well, not yet.
Ah, you sound just like Donkey.
Oh.
Next thing you'll know, you'll be staying in my house, eating my rats, playing with my children,
I will not be eating your rats.
sleeping with my wife.
No.
I can see it in your eyes.
No.
You've got a shifty way about you.
No.
It's okay, Shrek.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I've got my eyes on you.
So, I honestly should have been in a nicer apartment anyway, just on the off chance someone finds out my parents' worth and thinks my place would be nice to case. About the sister, yeah, I won't contact him about it. I'll have a routine background check and she should show up. I honestly don't know what to do about it or how to go about it. What if her life is horrible? I don't really have any power to change it. What if she's like 8 and lives across the country? It seems doubtful we'd connect on any meaningful level. I can only assume she has a caregiver and hope it's a good one. Honestly, contact from me won't do much if she was in a bad situation. I'm a 20-year-old kid whose income, until my first trust opens, is entirely dependent on my parents, and I'm not even legally her brother. It's all word of mouth. I guess the main point I see is no need to rush. Even if she's in a less than tenable place, there's little I can do to change anything. About the bio father, I am dismissing my biological father because he's a butt. To me, shared experiences are what bond people anyway. That's why I love my parents, not because of money or blood. I have no interest in a relationship with this guy. If he hadn't been harmful, we would have had an obligated lunch, but I still wouldn't truly want to form a relationship. I would just feel obligated to this stranger. I just don't want to start something until I've considered the implications. This could be just as negative in the girl's life as it could be positive. It's also possible that she might be in contact with my bio dad, who I want nothing to do with. Let me adjust your facts. Bio dad did not live near poverty line. He was middle class, an amazing violinist who taught in the city and did very well. Also, my mom had access to her trust fund during the marriage and contributed a large amount to household income. Their marriage lasted 2 years, not counting the separation. And there is a final update here. Okay, 6 months later.
That's a long time.
Today I met my sister.
Whoa! Didn't you just say that you went on the whole thing about how you weren't going to meet your sister?
I guess they changed their mind, Shrek.
Oh, everyone's changing their minds these days. My
So-
mind's only been changed once, twice,
Maybe 3 times.
3 times if you count the time I changed my mind about how many times I've changed my mind. First time, Donkey. Second time, Fiona. Never changed my mind after that.
Never changed his
What about
mind
the
about
fourth
anything.
one and then the upcoming 5th one?
Didn't change my mind.
Yeah, but they're changing the script.
Hey, don't talk about
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry. That was insensitive.
I had you writing in the air.
I'm sorry. That was insensitive.
Thank you for apologizing. I appreciate that.
So I took some time, but eventually curiosity got the best of me. She's 17, and her background is completely different than mine. We corresponded a little on the internet, but met today, and I drove 2 hours. By the way, you can listen to a lot of hours of full episodes with stories like this
A
one.
lot of onions.
And there's a lot of onions on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK
Really?
Storytime. That's right.
There's a lot of onions
You've got to search OK Storytime to find out.
on the internet. All right.
Layers.
Layers.
There's layers to the internet,
Layers. I'll check it out.
like an onion.
I do like onions.
And there's a little bit more story here. Let's finish it off.
Let's go.
She seemed like a nice girl, but I didn't feel like any, wow, we're related moments or a strong sense of kinship. Maybe I don't know how siblings are supposed to feel. I don't know. Mostly, it was awkward. Me and 17-year-old girls don't have a lot in common. She said I reminded her of someone on Gossip Girl and owned Justin Bieber CDs. But she did reinforce my belief that I'm doing right by not connecting with my bio dad. He hasn't seen her son and hasn't contacted her in a year. So, I just wanted to let those of you who helped me out last year know. Thanks, guys. And on
welcome.
meeting the half-sister, I'm a whole 21 years old now, full of vain wisdom and false prophecy.
You've got prophecy.
No, it's false prophecy.
Why is it false?
Well,
Is he like the seer Cassandra?
yeah, he is.
Oh, right. That makes sense then.
Shrek, you're more cultured than you let on.
Well, I've read one page of another book.
We've got 2 pages now.
2 pages.
You rascal.
I
You
lied
little
to you.
scamp.
I lied.
You keep things close to the vest, huh?
I do, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It's tough.
I guess it's not just age, although I am the youngest in my friend group, but upbringing too. She's uninformed about so much. She's also really into YOLO and partying and drama. She was nice, just really different. And that is the end of that story.
My sister lied about my husband to justify her hate for him.
Good, let the hate roll through you.
I, 30 female, recently got married and had a baby. My sister, 24, does not like my husband and will not tell me why.
That's so annoying every time.
By the way, this comes from Stale Waffle Fry. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And we'll try to give our best advice, but we haven't experienced most of these situations ourselves. So if you have, let us know your take in the comments. And OP says, when I first brought him home to introduce everyone, she was standoffish, but that's typical for her since she doesn't really like people. She has very few friends, never brings anyone home to meet the family, and has never wanted to spend time with anyone I've brought home. Before my husband and I got married, I asked her if she had any issues with him. She said no, and that he seemed nice. I asked her to be my maid of honor and thought all was well. Fast forward to last week. My husband went to drop off something at the family home where my sister lives with my parents. He came back looking shaken. When I asked what happened, he said he knocked and went into the kitchen where my sister told him my parents weren't home. He tried to give her the food I had asked him to drop off, but she told him to put it in the garage even though they were standing in the kitchen. Okay. As he was picking the stuff back up to leave, he tried making small talk about the weather. She snapped at him saying, "Don't effing talk to me," and stormed out of the room. My husband has never given me reason to worry about him being inappropriate, but that was where my mind first went. Why is that where your mind first went,
Well, because
though?
it's like, why would they have such an extreme reaction? It would have to be something extreme.
I mean, it sounds like she's just a hater.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it is just coming from absolutely nowhere, but it's like, if you're operating under the condition where it's like, well, clearly there's something that happened,
Yeah.
and it's not just my sister being awful to my husband for no reason.
We live nearby, and he had been gone for less than 5 minutes. I called my sister to ask what happened, and she hung up on me. I messaged her, and she ignored me until this morning when I bombarded her phone with messages because I wanted to resolve whatever was going on. She finally replied and basically says she hates him, always has hated him, and her only boundary is that he never talks to her.
Oh, my only boundary is that your husband never acknowledges my existence, and we never speak. That's a very reasonable boundary to have with your brother-in-law. Great. For no reason.
For
Other than, like,
just I hate him.
honestly, at this point, it seems like the only thing is that she wants him to be her husband and does not know how to
I mean,
process that information.
Yeah, maybe she's
So she's just like,
jealous. I don't know.
"Don't talk to me. I wish you were my husband." Blah. And now, so I'm going to make it miserable to be around me whenever y'all are near me. I don't know. That's just my guess.
In the 7 years that we have been together, they've spoken maybe 5 times, mostly just him greeting her. I asked her why, and she said she doesn't need a reason. She just doesn't like him and doesn't want him around. I asked her point blank if he had ever done or said something to make her feel that way, and she said he didn't do anything and that she doesn't need a reason to feel how she does.
Wow. She's got a crush on your husband.
Or she's
Wow.
just a grade A hater.
Or she's
going.
just jealous that you're married first, or I don't know what it is.
That's
Whatever it
crazy.
is. Professional hater.
My family is very close. My other sibling, brother 29, and I sometimes drop by unannounced to help my mom cook dinner or just hang out. And my parents encourage this because they like having us around. I told her it's going to be weird if he can't even greet her when we come over. She said she was sick of me having a stranger in her home. I told her I didn't realize she felt that way about him and said I wouldn't ask him to drop stuff off without me being around anymore. Mind you, she's had 7 years to get to know him, and I didn't realize she still considered him a stranger. She said that wasn't the point. She didn't want him talking to her at all, and that was the boundary she wanted respected. I told her I would tell him and try to keep them apart, but that would mean her time with my son, her nephew, 6 months old, would be affected because my husband will not be comfortable with our son being around someone who hates him. And also, by her own words, a stranger, apparently.
Literally a complete stranger that you've known for 7 years.
Frankly, I'm now uncomfortable with it too because I don't know what ideas she might try to put in his head. It's also going to affect my parents' time with him because if my husband can't bring him around, it's going to limit how often he goes over there. I didn't tell her this, but it hurts my heart because they absolutely adore my son. He's their first and only grandchild so far, and they love spending time with him, always telling us to bring him over. She said I was playing the victim, painting her as a witch and trying to trample the only boundary she has set for herself. I'm currently thoroughly lost and trying to figure out the best way forward. Am I the a-hole here? And is there any way I can fix this situation? We have an edit.
It's so crazy that she's trying to act like it's like, well, my perfectly reasonable boundary is just being trampled over. It's like, if that's your boundary, you should expect to not have a relationship with your sister then.
My reasonable boundary that you never talk to me.
Never speak to me.
You can't even say hi.
Don't look at me.
Don't come to my house.
Don't acknowledge me. Don't be in the same room as me. I don't want to have to see you anywhere. And yeah, if honestly, you're being selfish for not accepting that as my boundary.
Like, after 7 years, like, I know that OP knows that she was never really like a fan of her husband, but like 7 years later and you haven't been like, what the heck, before now.
I don't know.
That's a long time.
Deep-seated jealousy.
We've got an edit. I never expected so many replies in such a short time, but I appreciate the responses. To clarify a few things and answer some questions, I've mentioned it to my parents, and they're aware of what happened. My mom said she'll sit my sister down for a conversation, but from what I hear, my sister keeps making excuses to avoid it. She's busy, tired, wanting more time, etc. My dad says not to worry about it, and it will blow over. My dad had a heart attack recently and is currently recovering, so I don't want to push it with them right now and stress him out. I left it at that with him and changed the subject. My partner is amazing and has never given me reason to worry about him being around any females. I admit I was worried he had done something when he told me how she responded, because I can't wrap my brain around why she would just blow up over small talk. But she herself said he didn't do anything. I know my brother has had partners, but he hasn't brought any home. I myself didn't bring anyone home until I was serious about them and thought there might be a future. I brought home a grand total of 2 guys, my current partner, and my ex from college. Regarding her mental health, she has always had a bad temper and has snapped at me many times with no apology. Even when she realized later she was wrong, like when she accused me of taking her shoes, which she had actually just left in her vehicle. There has never been anything on this level before. We have some comments, but you sounded like you had something.
Taking your shoes. You're just looking for a fight. You took my shoes. I know you took my shoes.
Also, that's like such a sibling thing for like sisters to just be like, I'm wearing your shoes.
Yeah, I mean,
they fight about it too, but like,
I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I don't have any siblings.
The 2 only children have been getting all the sibling
we always
stories.
Get the sibling stories. Yeah, I'm sticking to my bang bangs. She's just deeply upset that you are making your life with this other person and cannot handle it. And so the way that she's dealing with it is by making it everyone else's problem.
Yeah. I still can't tell. It's like, it's gotta be she's either like secretly like crushing on husband, or she's just like really wants a relationship and really wants to be like at that point.
Yeah.
Top comments. This is very weird. You should speak with your mom and other brother, see if sister has disclosed reasoning, or if she has otherwise been paranoid. Okay, introduction says, it reads like jealousy to me, to be honest. Maybe she feels like he's taking her away from the family, but if he's done nothing to her and she won't give a reason, if I were OP, I'd go low or no contact with the sister. Family events, baby showers, parties, etc., everyone would be invited except for her. You don't want to talk to my husband and we can't resolve this? Fine, LOL, you're on your own. I don't entertain childness like this. Another commenter says, can someone make a bot for what a boundary really is? She can make a boundary that she doesn't have to talk to him, or that she will leave when he comes over, but not that he can't talk to her. And since it's not her house, I don't think she can make a boundary that he can't come over either. A boundary is an action you take, not an action you impose on others. For example, a healthy expression of a boundary, healthy in quotes because she needs help, is if he comes over, I will go to my room. If he talks to me, I will leave and go for a walk. Vinegar Girl says, thank you. This isn't a boundary, but a control tactic. She's trying to undermine OP's relationship and cast aspersions. Unless there's something OP isn't telling us, not the a-hole. Sister is behaving really weirdly and comes across as bitter and divisive. We have an update, but yeah, those comments were cooking.
Cook. So yeah, I think you need to stand on business and go, you know what, sister? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's my husband, our parents, it's their son-in-law. He's going to be around. He's the father of my child. So he's going to be around. And if you have a problem with him only because, what, you just don't like him,
Yeah.
that's on you to handle.
The whole, like, not inviting her to party things, I feel like you can still invite her, but you can just be like, and you can come, but my husband's going to be there.
Yeah.
And he's not leaving, so pick. We have an update. To clarify, the only reason I considered my husband might have done something is because I'm in healthcare in an environment where all sides of all stories have to be looked at. My first instinct was that she was being out of line for no reason, but I always try to look at both sides. Both he and she said that he didn't do anything, and I'm going with that. Growing up, my brother was the golden child. Dad only wanted a son and kept talking about his son and his legacy. My sister was my mom's favorite, something she would always say to us. That's great. I was the oddball, and my siblings and I weren't really close until everyone was past 14 or 15. Then we started finding shared interests. My dad has evolved over the years and now makes all his children a priority. That's really sad.
Well, at least he evolved.
At 14 or 15, you got 3 kids, dude.
Evolution.
You shouldn't be having more kids if you're not happy if they're girls.
The evolution of being a little bit better.
And my relationship with my mom has also improved significantly. My husband was beyond happy to marry into my family. My parents treat him like their own son, and he has said many times they feel more like family than his own. He has 3 brothers, but he's the youngest by 10 years and felt left out a lot. He once told me he was excited to have a sister-in-law as he has none of his own and isn't close with his brothers. This whole thing has him down, and I feel horrible for even considering that he had done anything inappropriate when I knew deep down he hadn't. My sister told my dad she will sit down with us to talk about it this afternoon when I get off work, so I'm waiting to hear what she says in his presence. We'll update again after we talk. We have the update after they've talked.
Let's hear that talk.
Spoke with my dad and sister a couple of hours ago. My dad asked both of us what happened. I gave my side and she gave her side. My dad asked her if she was sure she had no reason to act that way. She said she had a reason, but she didn't want to say.
Oh no. No!
My dad said, well, we won't force anyone to share anything. She then said, okay, she'll tell us why. She said, when she first met my husband, he asked her about a guy. Let's call him Mr. L.
Mr. Loser!
She said he asked her how Mr. L was doing. Then she turns to me and goes, yeah, I know you read my diary. The guy I had a crush on and wrote all my private thoughts about. The first day your husband met me, he asked me about him. And that told me everything I needed to know about him. She's holding a grudge.
Wait a minute. So your sister read your diary, talked about it with her husband, and you're never talking to him again?
And we don't even know for sure that she read the diary.
Girl, are you silly?
Oh, and yeah, here, for some more information. I'm still flabbergasted that she would say that because, first of all, I didn't even know she had a diary. And even if I did, I would never have read it. So she didn't. The husband just brought up this dude that happened to be in her diary. And she was like, so you must have been talking about me and read my diary.
You must have read my diary.
So we
It's
apparently
crazy.
completely cut out the husband.
When you are always looking for a confrontation, that's the kind of stuff you will see.
Damn. She's been holding that grudge for 7 years. That's insane.
That is insane.
I had a journal once, and my cousin read it and teased me mercilessly. I would never wish that upon someone else. I was surprised at first, then I got pissed because I realized she was making stuff up. She met my husband 6 years ago, a year after we had been dating. 2 years ago, my sister went abroad for a year for college. A friend of mine who started school late and was in the same program as her was on the same trip. I recognized the name as the hot professor my friend came back gushing about. I asked my sister if that was the professor from the university, and she went, "Yes, you see, is that your confession?" I asked her how my husband asked her 6 years ago about someone she only met 2 years ago.
Math is not adding.
Gotcha. Got you there. She stopped talking for a good minute, like her brain was buffering. Then she snapped at me that I just didn't understand how hard it was for her to keep having a stranger in her home, and stormed off.
We've moved the goalposts again.
Yeah. You're just mad that your reasoning was wrong. Still didn't have a valid reason, and now she's like, well, and it's something else that I lied.
Now you're just mad no one cares enough to read your diary.
Yeah. She's like, but I really wanted you to read my diary.
Yeah.
My son is going to grow up without getting to know his only aunt, but I cannot fix a situation that she is making up. Growing up, I was not an awesome sibling. There were petty arguments, stupid fights over stuff like the TV remote, what to have for dinner, etc., which I've heard are fairly common sibling fights.
That seems pretty normal.
But I thought we had a better relationship the last few years. We were sending each other memes, cracking jokes, took a few trips together, had dinners and lunches. She was my maid of honor at my wedding and visited me in the hospital every day I was there. Emergency C-section with complications. I was there for a whole week and checked on me every day postpartum for the first couple months. I'm still hoping this can somehow be fixed, but if she's making up lies and unwilling to communicate, I don't see what I can do. And we have a quick edit, I think. I asked my husband about it. He doesn't remember asking her anything about any guy. He doesn't recognize that name at all. My husband and sister never dated, since so many people are asking. And yes, I know for a fact. The areas he went to school and work are far from where we are. And the way we were raised, we didn't go out much. Yes, my husband is a different race from us, but I would like to think my sister isn't discriminatory. We are Asian and he's black. We have another edit, but anything else before we keep
A good
going?
hope to have for your sister.
I would certainly hope.
I would hope so.
She's just making stuff up. Edit 2. I see a lot of people calling her discriminatory. I didn't think it was that because my ex was Asian and she didn't seem to like him either. But we were only together 6 more months after I introduced him to the family, so they didn't interact much. My family at its core is Asian, starting with my grandparents, but over the years there has been a lot of mixing. She gets along with my cousin, who's half black and half Asian, and his wife, who is black. Regarding the mental health, I've brought up her anger issues in the past, and she doesn't want to try any type of therapy or evaluation. She's a grown woman, and as long as she isn't a direct threat to herself or exhibiting violence to others, it is completely her choice. Some people are mad that I used the word female. Odd thing to be mad about.
Yeah. People get mad whenever you say female. That was the whole first year I was here with Sophia. She was like...
Instead of what?
Instead of woman? Like my female friends, I would say that. And she's like, no, it's a woman.
My woman.
My woman
My
friends.
woman
Yeah,
friend.
we got through it.
Would they get mad if you said girls? It might like
No,
girls instead
just
of women?
female. It's more like object, I guess.
We call them male too.
Yeah, my male friends. I don't objectify women. I support them.
Go, Riley. Odd thing to be mad about. I use the words male and female on a regular basis, never known it to be an issue. We have a third update. To everyone saying she needs therapy, I have suggested it to her in the past because she has some anger issues. But she always says no, and you cannot force someone to go to therapy. It has to be their own choice. I spoke to my dad again this morning. He said he tried talking to her again, but she's avoiding the topic. I told him not to worry about it and that he and my mom are welcome at my place, but I wouldn't be coming around as often to a place where I have safety concerns for my son and husband. Dad says he understands. My mom is a bit pissed about the whole situation, mostly about what my sister did, and backs my stance. My mom told me she asked her how she would feel if someone was treating my brother the same way she was treating my husband. And she threw a fit, saying my mom was seriously trying to guilt her, which I take to mean she knows she was out of line because why would you feel guilty if you hadn't done anything wrong? For those saying I need to tell my parents to punt her out, that is not an option. She just finished college and is looking for a job. She can't afford to move out. even if she wanted to. We might be at odds now, but keep in mind, this is my only sister. We were not the closest, but usually were there for each other in the past. Mad as I might be at her, I don't want to see her homeless. And by the way, you'll always have a home with us with full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and search up OK Storytime.
Do that.
There's a little bit more.
Do that. Do that. Do that.
We got more, but what you thinking?
It's time for your sister to know what it's like to be called out and not bent towards. Stand firm. Stand your ground.
Yeah. I feel like she's slowly realizing, too, that no one is on her side with this.
Truly. I'm just glad she didn't say anything fake that was, like, way worse.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Let's see. To the people mad about the whole race thing, I have 27 aunts and uncles. Yes, my grandparents were busy. My family is well and truly mixed. There's black, white, Hispanic, more Asian, Filipino. If you can think of the race, it's probably mixed into my family. That's why I said I didn't think it was because of his race. She seems to hate most people equally. She told me she told him that he's the only one on her side and everyone is against her. However, he has made it clear that he is not taking sides. He is not going to change how he interacts with anyone and is speaking to both of us. That's completely fine by me. He's her brother, and isolation probably won't help her in any way.
Fair enough.
And we've got some of OP's comments. A commenter just heard your story on YouTube with fake updates that your parents are taking her side and you are going there without your husband because they pressure you. Just in case it goes anywhere near this, don't. Stand by your husband. You do not need toxic family members. She is your only sister, but many people live their lives without ever having a sister. Your nuclear family is your husband and child now. To follow your thought process, you only have one husband. And by the way, she's probably into your husband. Someone said it finally.
Yes, thank you. I've been saying it the whole time.
And OP responds, that's hilarious. The actual situation is not near that.
No.
My parents are trying to avoid taking sides, but both agree she's not making any sense and have acknowledged she has anger issues, but without her being willing to go to therapy, they can't force her. We will be staying far away from her, but all other family is welcome at my place. And that's the end of that story.